Hi everyone. This week the Parshat Tavo begins with a description of the mitzvah of Bikurim, the mitzvah of bringing our first fruit that grows in our land in Israel and bringing it to the Beit HaMikdash. The description of the whole ceremony can be found in the subsequent psukim after the mitzvah is introduced and is expanded upon in the Mishnayot and Bikurim. But I want to focus on the very first pasuk of the Parsha, which introduces this by saying, "Vayaki Tavo el haaretz," it shall be when you enter the land, Asher Hashem Elokecha noten lecha nachala, that God is going to give you as an inheritance, v'yishtah v'yashavta ba, then you will take possession of that land and you will dwell in it. Then you must bring Bikurim. That's how it's introduced. That when you enter, God brings you into the land of Israel, you'll take possession, you'll live there. Then Bikurim is a mitzvah that you need to worry about. The Midrash says the following. The Midrash says, "Asa mitzvah ha'amura ba'inyan," that if you do the mitzvah that is described here in this section, the mitzvah of Bikurim, and you follow all the rules and regulations, shabi schara tikanei sa'aretz, that in that merit you will enter the land of Israel. The question that immediately one must ask is how does that make sense? If the reward for doing this mitzvah is enter the land of Israel, well, I can only do the mitzvah if I am in the land of Israel, meaning I've entered the land of Israel. It's out of order here. How can doing this mitzvah bring me the reward of entering the land of Israel when I can't do this mitzvah until I enter the land of Israel? Clear? Maybe not. I'd like to give you my take on this. Perhaps what's going on here is that this midrash is pointing to a quality or a characteristic that is described, or that is not described explicitly, but that hopefully we are taking away from the mitzvah of Bikurim, even in learning the description of it. The mitzvah describes for us how to have hakarat hatov, how to have genuine thanks, and to express that verbally with words, is what we do in the mitzvah of Bikurim to God. That only once we are able to acknowledge the good that God has done and actually say it with our words, and we really internalize that message, then we're ready to enter the land of Israel. Because this land, our existence in it every day as a people, is just so unique and special. But we have to always be able to look around and say, wow, what a gift from God that we live here, that this is our land, that we can build a society that is based on the values of Torah. Once we understand that, then bischara, in the reward and the merit of that, tikanei sa'aretz, we can enter the land of Israel. And that learning this mitzvah Bikurim on the other side of the Jordan River, on the east bank of the Jordan River, is extremely important. So when we're on the west bank, we've crossed into the land of Israel, we've crossed the Jordan, then we can truly live a fulfilling life, one in which we are always acknowledging the good that God has done for us. And it's a lesson for all of us, even if we're living in Chutz La'aretz, about living a life where hakarat hatov is such a central focus of acknowledging the God that God does for us all the time, acknowledging the good that our family does for us all the time, that our community does for us all the time, things that perhaps are day-to-day that we might take for granted. But the mitzvah Bikurim, if we really internalize it, it's teaching us to have that hakarat hatov every day in our life. And should be schara, in that merit, tikanei sa'aretz, we'll all be able to enter the land of Israel, to be able to live there completely and wholly as a Jewish society, one in which there is the rebuilding of a Beit HaMikdash, when we can really bring the Bikurim and fulfill the mitzvah the way it's described in the Torah. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.